Hello and welcome. Today I'm with a good friend and brother, Billy, and I'm very excited for you to hear his story. How you doing, Billy?
Doing well, buddy. How are you?
Really good, man. Nice to be here with you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to start off, Billy, what comes to mind when I ask you about the moment or moments in your life that created a shift towards love and awareness?
Well, that's a great question. I don't think there is a particular moment for me personally in my experience. Rather, several moments. But there is one commonality about those moments, and for me personally was suffering. So, found myself in situations where I wasn't enjoying myself anymore, and despite having a job, doing all the things that society, people, or we grow up to believe that are going to make us happy.
Yeah.
And you get to those points and you realize, wait a minute, what am I still fucking suffering?
Yeah.
It's like, so when I started feeling those feelings, emotions, like strong feelings of emotions of confidence and not being enough and not fitting in and not enjoying myself, I basically started asking questions. If this is not it, then what else?
Yeah.
So and then I started digging out into other aspects that really what I was doing is really trying to discover my true me. Know the things, know the labels, know the jobs, know what I was doing. So yeah.
What things did that lead you to? Like, what do you find yourself doing currently in your life or experience to, let's just say, facilitate or guide you on this journey?
So when I started feeling those moments of confidence, if you want to call it, you can call it suffering or not enough or not being enough, I started sort of sharing with people and asking questions and researching, right? And little by little, you start meeting people, you start sharing perspectives with other people, experiencing new things. So I started sort of asking questions with, I would ask questions to friends, like, are you going through this? Or are you experiencing this? Or, or people just randomly share experiences, and you realize, wait a minute, is that possible?
Yeah.
So you start sort of expanding your perspective, expanding your experiences, expanding your narrow view of what it's like to have a meaningful life.
Also kind of feels like sometimes, once you've opened up to the possibilities, you start attracting all these situations that just kind of come up, right?
Yeah. So the way I put it is I drove my life into a narrow view, what it was supposed to be. And once it's sort of that narrow path, sort of ended, I was stuck with that.
Yeah.
With those things that I let myself to believe that were going to bring me joy and happiness. And when I got there, wait a minute, I'm not quite there. I'm still having these feelings and emotions, and there's got to be something else. So as I started winding my experiences and my perspectives, the people that I was talking to, the things that I was feeding myself. By that I mean things that I was reading, the things that I was consuming.
Yeah.
So that started shifting things in my life, not just in my daily life, but just in my overall view of my life experience.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, I can definitely resonate with that. What is something that used to cause you suffering or challenge that now you laugh at?
Oh man, that's an easy one. I think I kind of have before, previous time, kind of shared that with you. I used to struggle in social settings.
Okay.
And now that people were noticing it, I mean, it was a struggle within, right? Where I experienced feelings not being enough, feeling like I need to speak, feelings like I feel awkward. I feel uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very confusing because at first I wanted to engage, right? I wanted to sort of be noticed, but not necessarily like because I had something to contribute to, but rather just open my mouth, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's that was probably perhaps one of the first challenges that I encountered the moment I started opening myself to other perspectives, you know, like that the realization that I don't need to speak, I don't need to say anything, I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm good in this moment, and I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I am enough.
Yeah.
So having that realization, and this is not something that I usually share with people, but that was something that I struggle with, to the point like the more I expose myself and not having to say anything, do anything, or speak over my mouth or do anything, the more I put myself in that situation, the more at ease I felt.
Yes.
Yeah, to the point now it's irrelevant for me. It's like, you know.
I can definitely feel into that, and I've observed that in myself, and I've observed that in other people. Just this feeling of like needing to contribute in some way, like needing to say something, needing to do something in order to be relevant within the space. When silence is just as relevant.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yeah,
For sure.
And the cool thing is, for my personal experience, it's been great too, because I realized that when I'm the most present and I'm listening, I'm able to even have a better experience.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if the moment requires me, not that the moment, if the moment allows for me to say something, even small, whatever that happens to be, I find it to be even more enjoyable too. So it's sort of if you wanna say it has paid dividends to me, where I'm okay or at ease with not saying anything, but if I happen to say something, it's also pleasing to. So,
if you had to share one book with every human being on earth, what book would that be?
That's an easy one.
I love that these are easy.
Yeah. Well, now it's two, to be honest.
Okay,
it used to be one, but I only get one.
You get as many as you like,
really?
but one.
One. The Power of Now.
Cool.
Yeah, Power of Now.
Yeah.
Probably was the first book that funny that as I was going through these moments of suffering or uncomfortness, whatever you want to call them, I had already come in touch with the Power of Now, like a year or two before. But I remember like going halfway through it, and it just didn't resonate in me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't open
Yeah.
to it. It's like, I think my ego was too strong to sort of, wait a minute. But the moment that once I started sharing with people and they started to sort of share pieces or aspects of that book, it just kind of came to me again. I'm like,
Yes.
it might be wise for me to revisit this book. And since then, it's been a point of reference when it comes to how basic and simple the approach happens to be in that book of, you know, if you're not in this moment, if your mind is somewhere else, either in the past, you're not really in this moment.
You're really here.
You know, your body's here,
Yeah.
but the mind is wandering somewhere else. So that, and basically that's a breakthrough. And when it comes to that book, it allows me to use a simple approach, which is being present, to lessen or minimize or not suffer, you know, which
Yes.
is what I was experiencing.
Which suffering normally comes from us digging back into the past or
Yeah,
being anxious about the future.
bringing it back to the now when it has no place.
Correct.
It's gone, or the future hasn't happened. And I mean that simple approach to life
Yeah.
sort of brought a lot of peace, you know. So that's why that book it's like a key in my shift.
That book has been a key in a lot of people's shift.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that point up in regards to reading it previously, not resonating, and then reading it later. I think this is a really cool point to bring up, because it's not the book that changes you. It's not a conversation that changes you. It's your willingness to be open to it, and not only be open to what you're receiving, but be open to experiencing something different. Once you've gained this new perspective, can I experiment with that new perspective within my life and see how it feels?
Yeah.
Right. I think sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, the book is going to fix me, or the course is going to fix me, or something. But no. It all comes from within.
Yeah. I think the reason why the first time it, to me, did not have this kind of poignant effect was because I was used to the academic aspect of reading, right? Where you start reading something in order to get something in return right away.
Yes.
In order for you to take something just by reading, no by going and experience.
Yes.
Right?
Just conceptually.
That's the academic
that is
approach to
Let
learning.
me memorize what I'm reading real quick and think that is knowledge, but not really, because it's just memory. I'm just memorizing something. But in order to really apply it and embody it, I have to experience it.
Yeah, so cool thing that the book, as it kind of gets introduced, it says there's points during the reading that you're gonna find this symbol, and that symbol means pause. Right? The opposite of what we're trying to do in academics. It's like cram as much as you can in as much time and as little time as you can, and then just see if you're ready to retrieve, right? And this book says when you get to this point, pause and embody it, or just stay still and see what happens. And the other aspect too is it's go not just take what the book says or what the author says, Eckhart Tolle. No, rather go and experience and see what happens.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. It's not like this is right or wrong. It's like, is this, how do you feel about this? Go see what happens.
So it's the second time around was...
It's epic, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Last question. So if you had to leave something with the people watching, if you had to give them something in regards to something that has really helped you or has guided you, what would you share?
Man, it's so many things, right? Like first of all, it's like at least this is what I was raised, or what I thought that growing up, trying to achieve things, trying to get things, trying to, check box all the things that that society tells you that. I think that's what I grew up believing that was happiness, and I got to a point where it didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter the titles. It didn't matter where I was at. It was more like about this internal peace that was lacking, And there's really nothing wrong with achieving anything, as long as we put this inner being or being into like a place where it can handle things, and nothing is gonna shake it, just like a tree, right?
Yeah.
Has its roots very well planted, and there comes storms and wind, it just moves back and forth, but the tree is well grounded, right?
Yes.
Yeah, despite its beauty and its flowers and all those things, right? Not only that, the trees can still nest birds and feed other animals, right?
Yes.
So it's cool to have things in life, and I think there's really nothing wrong about it. It's just like, for me, it's to once a day, 5 minutes, I don't know, spend some time, even if it doesn't mean like meditation or anything, just some quiet time for yourself,
Yeah.
Something that nurtures your inner you.
Yeah.
That to me, if I had grown up since I was little, and there's really nothing wrong about the way that I grew up, right? It's perfect.
Yes.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know what I know now.
Yes, of course.
But if there is something to take away, it's just maybe just when we get those weird feelings and emotions, to probably pay attention a little more and not make a story out of them, but rather go inside and start just kind of digging in.
I can resonate with that, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I was raised in a similar way, not only by my family but just by society as well.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's this like being upset or feeling bad or judging and all these things. It was like it wasn't something that you were taught to sit with and notice and feel into. You were taught to go the other way. Oh, you don't want to feel this way, go the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just giving yourself that space, like you said, every day, whatever it is, just that space to just observe the feelings, observe the thoughts that lead to those feelings,
Yeah.
observe the behaviors that come from those feelings. Because if that's not what you want, you can only change that with awareness.
Yeah.
And if you don't bring awareness to it, you're just going to keep running the other way your whole life.
Yeah, it's for me it's become simple, right? So once again, if I've lived the life to lead to a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So society wasn't responsible for any of the actions I took, for
Yeah.
anything, my behaviors, my habits.
Yeah,
All my actions, all the decisions led for me to find myself at that point.
of course.
If that was true, then the opposite should be true, right? Which means that I can still create new behaviors, new habits, new
Yes.
actions that can lead me for me to feel the way I desire to feel,
Yes.
whatever that means for everybody. And I know it's different for everybody, but for me, it has been true that now that I'm able to go within, as opposed to go look for outside validation or outside things that are gonna, fulfill those holes that
Yeah.
that sometimes we grew up thinking that are gonna make us happy. Going in for me has made great contributions about how I experience life. So, and that to me is enough. I don't need to go read more books or watch more movies or heal other people. It's like
Yeah.
it has been for sure a beautiful thing to experience and continue to experience every day. Yeah.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
I really
man.
appreciate this space, man.
Yeah, likewise.
And I'm excited to continue experiencing life with you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Love this.
Yeah. Love you.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And we'll be back soon.